Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for the introduction and for inviting IMSM to participate and share our view on how important upskilling quality management may become. It is a pleasure being here. So, good morning, everyone. We're nearly, hopefully, reaching that point when our environment will be referred to as post-COVID. In the last 20 or so months, we have faced numerous challenges, got accustomed to new practices, learned quickly about new technologies, and generally speaking, did our best to fight a battle under ever-changing and many times unpredictable conditions and on multiple fronts. In the last few months, with the increased use of technology, digitalization, and other new phenomena, including the end of the working from home program, new security threats appeared. Operational technology security adds to the concerns previously regarded, and the security experts advise on the need for a broader approach towards security and talk about considering threats from a converged security perspective. Converged security undoubtedly requires very specific technical skills and competencies, but it also requires excellent managing skills. Therefore, we'll be discussing how upskilling quality management professionals can help organizations improve their security in the current nearly post-COVID environment, hopefully, and build up a resilient security management system. Before we go any further, please allow me to invite you to ask your questions during the session. My colleagues in the marketing department will make sure those pop up on the screen for me to answer at the end of the session. Let me briefly add to the initial introduction that IMSM is a consultancy, an ISO consultancy organization, and operates worldwide. Therefore, we have access to data to model new trends and monitor behavioral changes. Please get in touch and ask questions. We'll only be happy to share what we know with you. Now, let's get started. Let's talk management systems. Management systems are not new to the business. In the last 3 decades, organizations worldwide progressively embraced the ISO approach and started implementing management systems in conformity with its international standards. Millions of certifications are carried out every year, and up until the beginning of the pandemic, over 60% of these were ISO 9001, which is quality management related. The point I'm making is that organizations do have skilled quality management experts who have for the last 30 years worked on implementing best practices and got their management system certified against international management standards. Interestingly, our data shows that ever since the pandemic began, organizations showed a sudden but sustained in time interest in implementing a broader range of standards and usually integrating these into their existing management systems, if any. For instance, the interest registered towards ISO 27001 information security increased tenfold in the last year and is now also closely followed by ISO 22301 business continuity management systems. In some industry sectors, such as finance, legal services, IT and network security, as well as hospitality, ISO 27001 took over environmental management, which has normally been the second most implemented standard. ISO compliant management systems are at a historically high level of implementation, which now includes an interest in systems compliant to standards that require extremely specific technical knowledge and competencies in areas such as information, cyber, and operational technologies. And whilst we are getting used to the threats around information and cyber, operational technology presents new challenges to security. How so? In the first place, operational technology security is relatively immature. It is well behind information security. Someone recently said that if they had to go for a number, it would be 15 years behind information security. Second, there is already a worldwide shortage of information and cyber experts. So, operational technology may have little hope for adequate resources in some organizations. And last, management systems cannot be efficiently operated only on technical resources. Skilled and competent managers are a must. So, we are now landing onto a new tangled area, and we do need to start thinking out of the box, bridging, on the one hand, the cultural and technical gap between information security and operational technology security, and on the other, the gap between technical and management expertise required. And if we add to this equation the new old need for physical security, we'll get to illustrate the concept of converged security. And there are many examples about how important physical security has once again become. A very recent one would be the spy-related challenge the UK Embassy in Berlin faced last month. Hence, the aim to approach security from a converged perspective. Why upskilling is becoming essential to ensuring security, and which areas should we be upskilling? Well, the Internet of Things is a good starting point to illustrate which areas and competencies need to be upskilled. To protect us within the Internet of Things, these would be physical security, information technology security, and operational technology security. Although indeed, we have recently needed few resources to ensure physical security, most organizations are well aware of how important it is and have the skills, knowledge, and hopefully the resources to cover it efficiently. Information technology security raises some concerns regarding experts available. However, it benefits from a solid regulatory framework and a comprehensive set of international standards that help organizations implement and operate efficient and regulatory compliant information security management systems. Unfortunately, the same cannot be safely said about operational technology security. It might be worth focusing on what operational technology means. Gartner, a global research and consultancy firm, refers to operational technology as, and I'm quoting, practices and technologies used to protect people, assets, and the information involved in the monitoring and/or control of physical devices, processes, and events. In other words, it refers to any computing device that is used to control, monitor, or act on a physical entity. And a physical entity could be anything from an autonomous vehicle to a power station, hospital, or, as we have just mentioned, the Internet of Things, of which organizations actually seldom think as of a physical entity. So, whilst information security manages information, it secures data and business processes, printers, web, app, email, TPC networks, tablets, smartphones. Operational technology security manages physical processes, industrial controllers, hardened PCs and servers, industrial networks, sensors, cameras, scanners, embedded systems such as robots and analyzers. And moving on, ISO management system professionals have long been trained to operate efficient systems and help ensure that organizations conform to best practices. ISO standards have continuously been evolving and currently focus on two important elements: the organizational environment and risks and opportunities. There are three areas that I would like to bring to your attention when discussing risk profile and upscaling quality management. What should we focus on? In the first place, digitalization. COVID-19 speeded up the process of digitalization. For most companies, it meant for them and their stakeholders going paperless and abandoning face-to-face in favor of using already known and broadly used technologies such as tablets, smartphones, web applications, and getting familiar with TPC networks and the concept of encryption. As a result, unfortunately, we all grew increasingly aware of information and data security, as well as regulatory compliance. But it also speeded up the operational technology digitalization and transition into connectivity. This increasing demand to integrate the operational technology systems into the management system so as to increase the control on what is actually happening on the factory floor presents a real challenge to security management. Managing the risks arising from operational technology requires a specific approach. I would like to remind you that operational technology security is immature and yet to be integrated into information security. And I dare anticipate that the integration might present itself as challenging. It undoubtedly is essential to integrate the operational technology devices, and these will be inevitably TPS enabled. This is great from an ERP maintenance or computational point of view. However, it also expands the attack surface onto our organization. And there is some very bad people out there. Nowadays, most cyber attacks do not actually target information and cyber assets, but operational technology devices. And organizations have virtually no visibility into their operational technology risks. And remote working would be another aspect to take into consideration. Let's think about it. COVID-19 challenged security experts and organizations when we underwent the big working from home operation. Few people anticipated back then the threats that the business would face once we started getting back to the office. Experts are now advising caution with the hybrid model that is currently being implemented in many organizations. Wireless connections were, rightly, considered an issue at the beginning of the pandemic and still are. To all those issues, we now add the old-fashioned physical security related to working from multiple sites. Home, office, office, home, home, office, and so on every single day. Physical threats are back on the agenda. Moreover, we now have employees whose first work experience has been fully virtual and who may not have the appropriate security-related habits. A good way to ensure improvement would be throughout the quality management processes, including raising awareness and training. Well, this is probably the right summit to try demystifying security. Well, there is no doubt that few things might be more complex than security. Nevertheless, solutions are available. These seldom start with technical improvements, though. If we approach security from a converged point of view, we'll quickly identify operational technology security as the weakest link. Few people have expertise in this area. Therefore, any malicious access to a system has the potential for events and incidents with a catastrophic impact on society. On the other hand, though, most organizations already operate quality, multiple or integrated management systems. So, there is a real opportunity for leadership, for top management to engage with the operational technology experts, understand what they do, and have conversations about what they need. It might also be worth engaging with your management system managers, especially those who work on the information security end, and make sure they have the resources needed to support the operational technology security requirements. As I have already pointed out, integration may be challenging. Information security experts regard security as a set of three equally essential pillars: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Whilst to operational technology experts, availability is essential. Then comes safety, being confidentiality and integrity of much less interest. Why? Please allow me to illustrate it with a comparison. What are, let's say, the basic requirements for a corporate messaging channel, as an example, hypothetically, to be end-to-end encrypted, meaning to transfer the data accurately. So when it is supposed to do so, and to whom it is supposed to deliver it, and to grant access to whom may need it. So we're talking, indeed, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, what do we need, let's say, a heat sensor at a power plant to do? Hopefully, to be operational, meaning available, and not to injure anyone that might, for some obscure reason, touch it voluntarily or by accident. So, organizations should think of security not as of a technical but management solution. They may either decide to train engineers to manage security systems or opt for upskilling management system experts. Your speaker, I, defends the thesis that upskilling experts is likely to be more cost effective, and it does not necessarily involve the need to deepen, at least not too much, their technical knowledge. Security doesn't, or at least shouldn't, involve further investment straight away. Doing the basics well usually proves efficient and does avoid additional costs. It is essential, though, that your system be dynamic and flexible, as well as, where possible, validated against the relevant international standards. At the beginning of our talk, we explained that the ISO approach focuses on two essential aspects: identifying risks and opportunities, and the organizational environment. Your environment is the key to your success. Looking at it, organizations identify the stakeholders or relevant parties to their management systems. Those are also your business influencers, meaning the individuals and organizations that condition your security processes, including, but please never limited to, hackers or insurance companies. So, no surprise there, but ISO compliant management systems are considered to be corporate assets. Raising cybersecurity awareness inevitably leads to increasing global organizational security awareness and its impact on our business environment and the wider society. Moreover, where organizations already operate ISO compliant management systems, cyber and information security can be integrated, and this pave the way to further improvements on operational technology security, which translates into cost optimization and increases your business impact accuracy. This said, and being aware of the timing, I shall thank you for listening and take the questions we have received. May I ask for the questions to be now brought up on screen, please? Thank you. Depending on the time we have, I may not be able to answer your questions, but please make sure you pop them via email on marketing@imsm.com, and I'll make sure you get the answers. Okay, first question. How does ISO 27001 protect the organization from cyber attacks and regulatory non-compliance? Okay, this is an interesting question, and I'm certainly not surprised that it is also the first one asked today. I will approach it with caution and say that what actually protects your organization is not the standard itself, but your information security management system. Most organizations do have information security management systems, although these may be mature, for instance, based on static checklists limited to a specific country only, such as the Cybersecurity Essentials here in the UK, or ad hoc. Organizations react only to address, not to prevent and protect. I'm afraid that would be the only question I can take today. There are a couple more questions. Please, guys, make sure you drop us an email and I'll get in touch and answer your question in the future. Thank you very much, Maria Dimitrova for IMSM. Thank you.